Taurus in lane 1, Kodiak in lane 2.
Taurus just recently beat Bigfoot at the Houston Astrodome.
Taurus is driven by Jack Willman, who's 26 years old. He's from Madison, Illinois, and he's been driving since he was 14, so none of this is very new to him. Now, Kodiak is driven by Mark Bindler, also 26. He's from Wauwatosa, Wisconsin.
All right, we're on our way, and look at Taurus go. Beat him by nearly half a track. He wants to get into the finals. He gets a good launch, but notice how much time he spends in the air. He nearly clears all of the cars, but that extra time in the air could cost you the race.
Well, you mentioned that Taurus did, in fact, beat Bigfoot earlier this year, and it looks like he has that same thing on his mind now. We're now ready for our third heat. It will be Excalibur in lane 1 going against Rocket in lane 2.
All right, both drivers are ready to go. They're watching that Christmas tree. Just one yellow and then a green.
Excalibur is driven by Chuck Hockin from Toledo, Ohio. He's 29 years old. And Rocket will be driven by Dale Boucher, 22 years old, from Santa Ynez, California.
All right, they're just about ready to throw the switch in the Christmas tree. Watch it, a good launch. Excalibur maybe with just a few feet, and that might have won him the race. Excalibur advances into the next round.
Our next heat features Barefoot, driven by Fred Schaefer. He's 43 years old, from Pontoon Beach, Illinois. Been driving for 13 years. Now, he will apparently race alone because Star Monster, driven by Danny Tassone, had some sort of a breakdown.
That's right. He broke apart in the drivetrain right after qualifying, and he was given a period of time in order to fix it, but he was not able to make it to the line. So a bye run, a single run for Fred Schaefer and Barefoot.
That is called an easy ride through the park right there. Now for our next semifinal, it's Excalibur in lane 1, driven by Chuck Hockin. And in lane 2, it's Fred Schaefer driving Barefoot.
Both drivers coming to the starting line, getting ready to go. The winner of this one will face Bigfoot. A good even start. Fred Schaefer gets a great jump. Brings it down, tries to stop it. Oh, I thought he was going to hit the wall. Fred Schaefer, and look at the height that he has. He brings it down. He could have cleared 2 more cars. Fred Schaefer and Barefoot goes into the final. All right, here we go. This is the first round of competition. The Jersey Outlaw. Jersey Outlaw, driven by Mike Wine of Pensacola, New Jersey, going against Dennis Anderson, the Gravedigger from Kill Devil Hills, North Carolina. All right, here we go. It's anybody's race now. Remember the turn. The turn, very, very important. If they miss that turn, it could be all over. Gravedigger out in front. Gravedigger's in the front. Gravedigger's up, and over. Gravedigger. Gravedigger takes the win. Dennis Anderson. John Wazanowski from Lackawanna, New York. The Buffalo Trimmer 1986 Chevrolet with a 454 cubic inch Chevy going against Jesse Burgee, playing for keeps from Wyoming. Who's it going to be bringing it up? Buffalo Trimmer not quite staged. Here we go. Buffalo Trimmer makes the turn, does a great job and brings it down. Playing for keeps, not able to negotiate the turn. Playing for keeps, the runner-up, Tropical Thunder and Toughen Up. Both trucks pulling it up and staging. Tropical Thunder a few more inches. Here we go. Watch the tree. Pro start, one green, and they're on their way. Tropical Thunder from Jupiter, Florida. The red truck from Phoenix, Arizona. All right, pretty close race. Can they make the turn? And Tropical Thunder advances to the second round. So Tough Enough is the runner-up, the Invader, going against Barely Tame. David Follow behind the Invader, going against Doug Spinier with Barely Tame. The Invader out in front. Watch the turn. Whoa, and Barely Tame loses the power. Barely Tame loses power going up the hill. On the far side from us, the Equalizer, driven by David Morris. The Equalizer, a 1991 GMC, 496 cubic inches. He'll be going against King Crunch. King Crunch coming down the pulling track. Driven by Scott Stevens. All right, King Crunch going against the Equalizer. Number 2 and 3 qualifiers. Here we go. All right, the Equalizer out in front. Whoa! Look at this! Oh, is that close? Close! They will now check the instant replay. The winner is the equalizer, Fred Schaefer, the 1990 defending champion of the U.S. Hot Rod Association, going against Rob Fuchs from Woodstock, Illinois. Fred Schaefer from Pontoon Beach, Illinois. So two Illinois drivers battling it out right here. Both drivers, wild, wild drivers. Anything can happen. Here we go. Watch the tree. Fred Schaefer out in the lead. Oh, and first blood breaks. Barefoot takes the win. This is the second round. You must win to advance to the third round. Third round being the semifinal round. Dennis Anderson going against John Wozanowski. Watch him now. Watch him. Both drivers getting ready to go. 8 trucks left. Dennis Anderson makes the turn. Dennis Anderson takes the turn. Carolina Crusher driven by Gary Porter from Waitsboro, North Carolina. 1991 Chevrolet going against Tropical Thunder, a Chevy Sportside, 427 cubic inches, driven by Wayne Smosnick of Jupiter, Florida. Thrill show, spectacular. Oh, it's going to be close. And Carolina Crusher, Fred Schaefer, defending U.S. Hot Rod Association champion from Pontoon Beach, Illinois, with Barefoot, 1991 Chevrolet, going against David Morris, the equalizer from Springfield, Tennessee. Final pair of trucks, here we go. Oh, and the equalizer gave Fred Schaefer a good run for his money. The winner is Fred Schaefer. All right, here we go. Both trucks backing up, getting ready to stage. Dennis Anderson behind the controls from Kill Devil Hills, North Carolina. All right, here comes the Carolina Crusher up to the line. Gary Porter behind the controls going against Dennis Anderson. Watch him now. Watch him. Watch him. Here we go. Carolina Crusher. All right, let's check this out. Not sure who is the official winner. All right, the winner is the Gravedigger. Carolina Crusher went out of bounds. Out of bounds on the Carolina Crusher. Dennis Anderson is the winner. We got Fred Schaefer from Pontoon Beach, Illinois, defending U.S. Hot Rod Association champion, going against Dave Fowlerow with the Invader. Here we go. Who's it going to be? Whoa, look at this! I think he beat... All right, checking the instant replay once again. Too close to call. They're going to double check. Check the Diamond Vision screen. The winner is the Invader. This is it for all the money. Dave Fowlerow from Florissant, Missouri. The Invader going against Dennis Anderson. Here we go. Dennis Anderson in the lead. Whoa! Oh, and Dennis Anderson flips it. Dennis Anderson takes it over. Holy cow! Watch this now. Watch it. Watch the screen. Watch the Diamond Vision screen. Watch the Diamond Vision screen. He clipped off the pole at the finish line, comes around, and rolls it right over on its side and the top. Right there. You saw it. You saw it go over on its roof and you started laughing.
Well, yeah, I tell you, when I'm sitting in the stands, I know wrecks and crashes aren't that cool, but to me, that's a good final, Don't get me wrong, I didn't want to damage my truck. This is the third time I've rolled the truck. Believe it or not, we just clear coated and fixed it up from some body damage. The guys back at the shop said she's looking rough. We need to put a new body on it. I told them, no, let's skip that. I said, it's good for another rollover. But I was just kidding when I said that. But, what can I say? I gave it the best shot I could. And to me, that was a good finals, and we pulled it off the best we could.
It takes a combination of things to win here. First of all, the truck has to be able to accelerate. Secondly, the driver be able to maneuver properly. Dennis Anderson took Gravedigger to 4th in qualifying. Fred Schaefer took Barefoot to 9th. This is our Monster Wars Invitational Challenge. Tread to tread, Barefoot has taken out Gravedigger once on the season. Dennis Anderson of the Gravedigger tells us what it takes to win.
It's going to be a real fast straightaway. Brakes will be hot coming into the turn. And we get squared away in the turn and just nail it and jump the cars, and I just got to keep an eye on old Fred over there. I'm going to run my race. He's going to run his, but the old Dodge runs good. I got to give him credit. But this old 1950 Chevy will beat his door down.
If confidence has anything to do with it, he could do it. Side by side, they go around and up and over and into the turn, and oh, the Gravedigger rolls. Barefoot has some problems on the turn, but Gravedigger rolls. Barefoot goes on to win it. Gravedigger rolls. Dennis Anderson is on his roof. The time for Barefoot, 18.72. Gravedigger looked great off the line. He had the acceleration down, but either the brakes didn't work or the short wheelbase caused him a problem, and when he went to make the turn, he went over. The tires look good. I think he just didn't decelerate enough. Maybe he couldn't find the brake pedal. Whatever it is, Dennis Anderson's on his roof and the Gravedigger. Barefoot is in the winner's circle. The question on everybody's mind, is Dennis okay? He's out of the truck waving to the crowd. Dennis Anderson is in fact okay, and he's worried about his truck as he surveys the damage to Gravedigger. We're glad Dennis is okay. We are ready for more monster truck action. This time, Carolina Crusher faces Invader, a Chevy Ford matchup. Carolina Crusher qualified 3rd, Gary Porter aboard. Invader is driven by Ray Prokowski. He qualified 8th here in Pontiac. The Monster Wars Invitational Challenge continues, and tread to tread, Invader is 1-0 on the season against Crusher. But this is Carolina Crusher's type of race, a U-turn where he has to work and work hard in that turn. Gary Porter can do it. The strategy here, right off the line, speed up, go as fast as you can, then shut it down, use the rear steer for the turn, straighten up and head for home. Going into that turn, Invader and Carolina Crusher both saw what happened to Gravedigger. They don't want it to happen to them. And Carolina Crusher does a flawless job of driving. Invader has problems with that turn. It cost him the win. Full 2 seconds behind Carolina Crusher. They stage for our next race. This one between Kodiak and Taurus. Kodiak is driven by Mark Bendler. Jack Willman Sr. pilots Taurus. Yes, I did say Jack Willman Sr. Well, let's all have some fun. You guys watch this one. Taurus and Kodiak on the line. Jack Willman just smokes it down there. He shuts down. Kodiak has a little problem going around that turn. Jack Willman, look at this guy. The old man can do it. There'll be some celebrating tonight. Taurus with a full 1.5 second lead over Kodiak. The Silver Dome Pontiac. Some 50+ thousand people watching the big monster stage. Jerry Richmond driving Maximum Overkill. He qualified second with a time of 5 seconds. Rob Fuchs in First Blood qualified seventh. 5.39 seconds for his qualifying run. This is our Monster Wars Invitational Challenge, bringing together the best, biggest, baddest trucks in the world. And Maximum Overkill certainly ranks up there along with First Blood. Jerry Richmond drives Overkill. He signals he's ready, waits for the green light. It is showtime! Off the line, they are even. And now the very, very important turn. Maximum Overkill seems to be able to maneuver a little better than First Blood. Maximum Overkill gets the win. His time, 10.52 seconds. Our fifth and final race of round number 1. Hits Rambo and Equalizer. This could be a barn burner. David Morris handles the driving duties in Equalizer. Bill Weaver Jr. up in Rambo. Equalizer and David Morris have been doing a super job on the season. We have not yet had an opportunity to see Rambo on Monster Wars. But let me tell you something. This guy lives up to the name Rambo. He clears out the cylinders. We are set for a matchup between Rambo and Equalizer. They wait for the green light off the line. Equalizer with a little bit of a hole shot. They go into the turn. David Morris is an expert on this. Rambo has a bit of a problem. He has to slow down. Equalizer makes short work of one of the top trucks in the country. Equalizer smokes Rambo. Gary Porter tells us what it takes to win in Pontiac.
In order to beat Barefoot here at Pontiac, I'm going to have to watch the light really close, try to get a hole shot on them, try to make plenty of power going down the front straightaway, stay into the throttle as long as I can, and then get hard on the brakes. I'm going to have to make the perfect turn and then get back into it full bore again to get the jump over the cars, because running against Fred Schaefer, there's no room for mistakes.
We have certainly seen our share of mistakes here, as everybody has problems on the turn. And up and around goes Gary Porter and Fred Schaefer. Barefoot and Carolina Crusher. Barefoot uses the extra 100 horsepower to win. 9.13 seconds. We wait for the green light. Maximum Overkill. First Blood on the line. They don't seem to have the power that some of the other trucks have going down the straightaway, but maybe that's because they want to make this turn properly. Maximum Overkill does, and he goes across the finish line first. Maximum Overkill is in the semis. Maximum Overkill goes a little wide on this turn. He lifts the front tire up and never really has a chance to straighten up before he hits the cars. The wheels are out of shape, and he just barely misses the finish line pole, but a win's a win. Maximum Overkill moves on. And up to stage comes Rambo. Bill Weaver Jr. up in Rambo. And his competitor, well, he's going to face the Equalizer in competition in round number 2. The lighter you are, the faster you'll go. And that's what it's all about in monster truck racing. Not so much car crushing, but monster truck racing. They want to go fast. They want to stay on the car. If you're in the air, you're not winning. Even going down the straightaway, this is where the weight problem comes into effect. Equalizer, much lighter, makes it around the turn. Rambo really has to work to make it, and Equalizer gets the win. The Monster Wars Invitationals. The best monster trucks in the world have been invited. We're down to the final 4. And now we're going to bring them down to 2. Maximum Overkill and Equalizer are lined up. Overkill, driven by Jerry Richmond, average time 10.52 seconds. David Morris has piloted the Equalizer with an average time of 9.52. 10,000-pound monster trucks putting out over 1,400 horsepower. But it's going to be who can tame that 1,400 horsepower and make it around that hairpin turn without a problem that wins it. Overkill and Equalizer. They are staged. They wait for the green light. And it's showtime at the Pontiac Silverdome. On the line, Equalizer with a slight hole shot. And now the important hairpin turn. Equalizer and Overkill. Overkill goes wide. Equalizer battles back and wins it. With a 1/10 of a second lead, your winner is Equalizer.
The Chevrolet, the Auto Value Chevrolet, takes on the Dodge Express. Here we go. Monster Challenge one more time. And a good shot. Oh, look out. Ken Deppy goes right over. Unbelievable. Ken Deppy tried to take care of the Moguls, and the Moguls took care of him. Incredible. And now, on the line, the World Championship. Can the Dodge Ram do it here at the Silverdome? Let's find out. It comes through. Very close. Oh, my. That is anybody's race, and we are going to have to go to the video on this one. It's Taurus versus the Equalizer. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner goes to the Final Four. Good launch. They take it through. Looks like David Morris and the Equalizer. It will be a single. What's important here is he will make a very good pass if he wants lane choice. Here he goes. Let's watch. The Monster Patrol. Big air. Not a really good launch, but he'll be right in the hunt. Now, it's literally Porter against the clock. He has the round one. Here he goes. Not a good run. Here we go. The War Wagon. And Cook, let's watch it. Going through, bouncing it through. It is Mark Hall moving first. It's the Executioner. Now, let's, oh, the War Wagon almost going over. And it's going to be all Hall. A great run for Mark Hall and the Executioner. RPM's up. Let's watch as the Hyperactive takes on Excalibur. Oh, Charlie Plunkett with big air. Oh, look at him. He just stays on it. Plunkett riding the side. Now, can he bring it in? Plunkett recorrects, brings it home. Excalibur! What a job of driving! It's Rock and Race at the Dome! It is Chevrolet moving first, but here comes Botters! Michael Botters! It's even at this point! It will be Chevrolet making the turn first. Michael Botters trying to come in. Win goes Chevrolet! Mike. Chevrolet wins. You want some RPMs, ladies and gentlemen? Monster Wars, it is David Morris out first! Oh my! Unbelievable air! Incredible air for Barefoot, but was it enough? Here we go! Good launch! Oh my, what a launch and what an incredible second shot! Gary Wiggins in the Carolina Crusher. Pontiac, you got to make a little bit of noise. Gary Wiggins out of Wadesboro, North Carolina. Gary Porter just coming out just because he wants to run for you. Come on, Pontiac, let me hear it. Gary Wiggins in the Carolina Crusher. Well, you knew the Elmer's glue was only going to hold on so long. Pontiac, I can't hear you. Come on, Pontiac, I know you're louder than that. I said I want to hear some noise. I'll tell you what, it was not the smoothest ride for Eldon Depew, but the win will go to the Tourists. Carolina Crusher in the left-hand lane, the right-hand lane, the Reptoid. How many people are pulling for the Hardluck Kid, Jim Jack, and the Reptoid? Who's pulling for the Carolina Crusher? All right, Pontiac, the louder you are. I've told you all night, the wilder it's going to get. I can't hear you. And the winner goes to Carolina Crusher. Who's pulling for the Nightmare? Who's pulling for the Predator? All over the Nightmare. Taking it over to the left-hand lane. Chuck Jordan in the Survivor. Brand new version of this truck for 96. In the right-hand lane, ladies and gentlemen, the Gravedigger! Remember, the winner transfers into round number 2. A loser will go to the pit area. Pontiac, you're way too quiet tonight. I gotta hear some Pontiac noise. How many people are pulling for the Taurus? Who's pulling for the Carolina Crusher? You can put that streak to bed. The win will go to the Taurus. Eldon Depue's going to the final. Nightmare 2 out of Vienna, Ohio. Gary Bauer in the right-hand lane. Rap Attack, Dave Rappage. Also out of Vienna, Ohio, the Battle of the Vienna Boys. All right, it's the Nightmare 2 in the right-hand lane. Gary Bauer out of Vienna, Ohio. Who will he be going against? I've told you all night, Pontiac, that the louder you are, the wilder it's going to get, and I can't hear you. Eldon Depue in the Taurus. Taking on the left-hand lane. Semi-final action. Ford versus GMC. The Ford in the right-hand lane, the Nightmare. The GMC of the Taurus. Who's pulling for the Taurus? Who's pulling for the Nightmare? Semi-final round. Come on, Pontiac, I can't hear you. Pontiac, are you ready? No doubt about it. Eldon Depue and the Taurus are going to the final round. The win will go to the Taurus. Fred Schaefer locks it into the barefoot. Robert Parker already behind the wheel and on the line and ready to go. Pontiac, let me hear you. Who's pulling for the Gravedigger? Final race of the night. Hold on to your seat. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, let me hear it for Eldon Depue and the Taurus, tonight's winner.
Yeah, we talked about putting him in a hole, and only grave he dug tonight was his own.
I'll tell you what, it was a good race, a great race, actually. I know you had problems with the rear steer. It looked like it just broke loose.
Yeah, it broke loose when I come over this first hump. I didn't think I was going to get it corrected over here, but, you know, Ellen and all these guys out here are tough to beat, you know. Just like to thank all the fans for coming out. Appreciate y'all being here, Pontiac. We'll be back next time.